When we first go through the nuances of a spiritual awakening and we get that glimpse into the bliss, the Satchitananda, the beautiful ambrosial nectar that flows through, especially if you've also experienced a Kundalini awakening. And some of us don't want to come out of those altered states of consciousness. We want to stay there. We really enjoy being there. We don't want to engage with the outside world. The outside world seems like an illusion. It seems fake. And also the happenings all around us, we are dissatisfied with that. We are dissatisfied with the lack of authenticity around us. Now, sometimes we might fall into a trap of escapism either way. Either when you are in a spiritual awakening or before an awakening, whether you're on a spiritual path or not. Or if you're a materialist, if you're a scientist, if you're somebody who is a believer of only that which you can fathom with the five senses, or if you're somebody who believes that there is something beyond this. The secret, folks, is that wherever you are, you must be able to incorporate the opposite. So both the material, so that which you can see, and that which you can't see, that which is manifest, that which is unmanifest, have always got to work together. What this means is, yes, you can experience bliss. Yes, you can experience all that is. Yes, you can experience this amazing, beautiful gifts that also come with your awakening. But these great gifts will have to be brought back down to earth. So then you carry on in your physical reality, you carry on in your earthliness, and you embrace all that with even more zeal and zest for life than before, because now you're operating fully. Similarly, before an awakening, you could have been on a spiritual path, part of a community. You could have, maybe just been somebody who is self-inquiring, or you could be a materialist. Now, in that sense, all that you ever experienced or wanted to experience is that which you know, and so you identify yourself with only the body, with only everything. Now, this is where you have your psychologists, your scientists, your biologists, the kind of people who go by only that which can be fathomed. Now, when you operate from that kind of a consciousness, you're missing out on this whole other world that opens up when you have an awakening to spirit, when you have an awakening to the bigger picture, when you have an awakening to what we call consciousness, to pure intelligence, the intelligence that lives through you, that is you. Either way, whether you are up there or whether you're down here, your Muladhara and your crown chakra must both be open, and everything in between must also be working fully, functionally, and connected with each other. So that if you're having a Kundalini awakening and you've got a spiritual awakening, which means you've got the spiritual mindset with which to navigate your Kundalini awakening, you can have an active Muladhara. For example, you're very rooted, grounded, but at the same time, you can fly with the fairies too. You can travel astrally. You can experience these other realms. You can go into deep trance, deep meditative states, altered states of consciousness. You can access the alpha, theta, and delta states very, very easily. But when you are not in either one, that you're missing something, then you're never really going to be either in the fullness of your awakening or in the fullness of you living a fully material life as well. Yeah. So if you're a scientist, or if you're somebody who is only going by what you see and what you can feel with your senses, even that you are living half of us. The picture is never really complete until we have the whole of us. So when we decide, maybe for a period of time, that you want to be isolated, you want to be in your cocoon, it's okay. And that might last for a very, very long time, perhaps even the entirety of this one lifetime that you are in, right? But eventually, whether it's now or another life and another plane of existence, you'll be marrying the two. So it's not a question of we are going to be in the crown and we're going to be sitting in that consciousness, but that we're not fully going to engage and involve ourselves in life. In fact, it's quite the opposite. The more engaged you are upwardly, the more engaged you are downwardly, because you're bringing that heaven down to earth, and it's working through you this time consciously, because you're aware of it. You're aware of it, and you learn then how to manipulate your own energy. You learn how to, this is what you say, you step into your authentic self. Your authentic self meaning you are taking all of yourself and you're aware of all of yourself. So you're walking in your original form, and the original form is the formless and is the form, is the Shiva and is the Shakti, is the manifest and is the unmanifest at all times. So folks, remember, no matter where you are, if you're on a spiritual awakening, yes, whilst there'll be moments when you do need, ask yourself, am I still in isolation because I've not fully healed myself, or I've not come out of this cocoon, and therefore for some reason I'm fearing something? You know, ask yourself, where am I? Your self-inquiry is a very big tool that's always there at your disposal. Minimize externalizing and asking someone else to mirror back to you what you are. And maximize on you being your own mirror so that you can see for yourself. And this is where your awareness, the ever expanding awareness. And that's why folks, we say, oh, we're going through a spiritual awakening, because so far there was no shift of consciousness. Now, when there's a shift of consciousness, that consciousness starts to purify itself. You come to a ground zero. Now, from that ground zero, you can then start to plant the seeds. So whereas it felt like barren land, that land now has become very, very fertile. So this is where now you are your own creator, right? Lots and lots of love wherever you are. Remember, you are the most self-reverent. Self-reverent, and that means don't rely on relational awareness or relational feedback to give you an idea of where you are. Although you can look at that, but simply focus and hone in your inbuilt intelligence, whether it's the body's intelligence, whether it is the intelligence of that which is all there. You want to call it spirit, you want to call it the soul, whatever it is, but hone into that intelligence which is who you are. Lots of love.